Hello everyone, I hope you're having a wonderful day. Today we're diving into a heartfelt chapter of Tu Na and Alex's journey, where life slowly returns to peace after Henry's kidnapping. Yet shadows of fear still linger in Tu Na's heart, leading Alex to invite her and little Henry into his home for safety, family, and comfort. What follows is a touching story of healing, trust, and a love that dares to grow again. If you enjoy this video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell so you won't miss our next stories. The days after the kidnapping of little Henry were heavy, filled with echoes of fear that refused to fade. Even though the nightmare had ended and Henry was safe, Tu Na could not shake the feeling that danger still lurked nearby. The ranch, once her safe haven, suddenly felt exposed, fragile. Every creak of wood, every shadow in the night stirred unease in her chest. This house had sheltered her and Henry for so long, but after the attack from her former mother-in-law, its walls no longer gave her peace. The memory of being powerless, of nearly losing her son, haunted her every waking moment. One evening, as they sat quietly together, Tu Na finally opened her heart to Alex. Her voice trembled as she spoke. Even here, I don't feel safe anymore. I look around, and it's like I'm waiting for something bad to happen again. Alex listened intently, his eyes never leaving hers. He could feel her fear, her exhaustion from carrying such a burden alone. After a pause, he reached for her hand. "Then come with me," he said gently. "Move to my house. There you won't have to feel this way anymore. My mother is there. She can help care for Henry. No one will dare to come near and disturb you again." Tu Na looked down, conflicted. His offer was warm, reassuring. She knew it made sense. There she could focus on work, even return to the market without worrying about leaving Henry with strangers. But the thought of stepping back into Alex's house carried its own weight. She had lived there once. She had also walked away once. Facing his mother again filled her with guilt. Would she be judged? Would the past be held against her? But then she thought of Henry. His safety mattered more than her pride, more than her hesitation. After a long silence, she whispered, "If it's for Henry, then yes, I'll go." Alex's eyes lit up, a smile tugging at his lips. He tried to hide it, but inside he was overjoyed. To him, this was more than just moving into a safer home. It was a sign that Tu Na was slowly beginning to accept him into her life. The following morning, they packed Henry's things and drove to Alex's house. As the car rolled to a stop, Tu Na felt her heart pound. The familiar yard, the front door, the air of the place, all of it reminded her of the past. She held her breath as Alex opened the door. To her surprise, his mother stood waiting with open arms and a radiant smile. "Tu Na and Henry," she exclaimed warmly, as though welcoming family. There was no hint of bitterness, no shadow of judgment in her eyes. Instead, she scooped Henry into her arms, kissing his cheeks as though he were her own grandchild. Tu Na blinked, stunned. She had braced herself for coldness, but instead found kindness. The older woman's joy was genuine, her voice full of affection. Alex watched the scene with quiet pride. Seeing his mother cradle Henry, seeing her embrace Tu Na without hesitation, filled him with a sense of hope he hadn't dared to feel before. Maybe, just maybe, this was the beginning of something real. The house quickly filled with laughter. Alex's mother and Tu Na chatted easily, as if no distance had ever stood between them. Stories were shared, worries set aside. Henry giggled in his grandmother's arms, playing with her necklace, and she let him with delight. Alex, giving them space, slipped into the kitchen. He rolled up his sleeves and prepared lunch for everyone. The sounds of chopping, the aroma of simmering dishes, mixed with the sound of conversation drifting from the living room. By the time the meal was served, The house felt alive with warmth. They sat together around the table, plates full, and for once there was no heaviness, no tension. The meal unfolded with ease, jokes, small stories, gentle laughter. To any outsider, it would have seemed as if Tu Na had always belonged here, as if she were already the daughter-in-law of the family. Alex couldn't help but glance at her often, catching the faint blush on her cheeks as his mother praised her, the softness in her eyes as she watched Henry laugh. Every detail sank deep into his heart. When the plates were cleared and the afternoon sun began to fade, Alex guided Tu Na to a guest room, making sure she and Henry were comfortable. "Rest here," he said gently. "This will be your space." Then, alone in his own room, Alex sat on the edge of his bed, lost in thought. The image of Tu Na at the table replayed in his mind, the way she fit so naturally, the way his mother had welcomed her. For the first time, everything felt within reach. He thought of the ring he still kept hidden away, the proposal he had once made, the rejection that had left his heart aching. Could he ask again? The memory of her earlier refusal gnawed at him. He feared hearing those words a second time, feared the sting of being pushed away again. But hadn't things changed? She was here now, in his home. She had chosen safety, yes, but hadn't she also chosen him? The question lingered. Should he risk it? Should he kneel once more and ask for her hand, knowing she might not yet be ready? He wrestled with the thought until the sun dipped low and the house grew quiet. At last, he sighed. Not yet. He needed to know where her heart truly stood. And so, he made a plan. He would take her out to dinner, just the two of them. A quiet evening away from the house, away from distractions. There perhaps he could test the waters, gently probe her feelings. With that decision, a new spark of determination filled him. The next evening, all was arranged. Alex's mother stayed home with Henry, more than happy to care for him. Tu Na, though hesitant, agreed to join Alex for dinner. The restaurant was modest, warm, the kind of place where conversation could flow easily. Candles flickered softly, casting a gentle light on their table. At first, they spoke of simple things: the market, Henry's laughter, the small joys of daily life. But Alex was watching, waiting. He felt the moment arrive like a shift in the air. He reached beneath the table and pulled out a bouquet of fresh flowers he had hidden. He offered it to her, his voice calm though his heart raced. "For you, to celebrate Henry's safety, and to welcome you to my home." Tu Na's breath caught. Her hands trembled as she accepted the flowers, her eyes searching his. For a long second, Alex feared rejection again, that she would push the gift away, that she would retreat into distance. But instead, she smiled softly. "Thank you, Alex, this means a lot." He exhaled quietly, relief flooding him. She had accepted. Not his full heart yet, perhaps, but she had accepted him, at least this far. The bouquet rested gently in Tu Na's lap as the dinner carried on. Though her smile was soft, her eyes shimmered with emotions she struggled to name. The candlelight reflected on her face, making her look almost fragile, yet strong at the same time. Alex studied her carefully. Every small movement of her hand, every glance, told him a story. He wanted to believe her acceptance of the flowers meant she was opening her heart, but deep inside, he still feared pressing too hard. Too soon. He cleared his throat, breaking the silence. "Tu Na, you've been through so much, after what happened with Henry. I just want you to feel safe wherever you are. That's all that matters to me." Her fingers tightened around the bouquet. She nodded slowly, her voice soft. "When my ex-mother-in-law took Henry, something inside me broke. Even now I can't shake the fear. Sometimes I wake up in the middle of the night, convinced that someone's outside, waiting to hurt us again. Even the ranch, which used to be my shelter, feels unsafe now. Alex leaned closer, his gaze steady. That's why I wanted you to come home with me. Not just because of safety, but because I want to share the burden with you. You don't have to do this alone anymore. Tu Na's eyes flickered. She knew his words were sincere, but her heart was conflicted. She had promised herself long ago that she wouldn't rely on anyone, that she would stand firm for her son. But Alex's presence was different, steady, dependable, warm. The waiter arrived with their meals, breaking the intensity of the moment. They thanked him politely, and for a while, the clinking of cutlery filled the space between them. Alex chose lighter topics, funny market stories, little quirks about his mother, even Henry's playful antics. Slowly, Tu Na relaxed, her laughter returning like a melody he had missed. When the plates were cleared, Alex reached beneath his chair and pulled out a small gift bag. Inside was a simple box of sweets tied with a ribbon. He slid it across the table. Tu Na tilted her head, surprised. Another gift? Alex chuckled nervously. Consider it a small celebration, for Henry's safety, for you being here, for us being able to sit like this. She hesitated, then accepted it, placing it beside the flowers. You're too thoughtful, she whispered. The atmosphere grew tender again, and Alex knew the moment had come. His palms grew damp, his heartbeat thundered in his ears. He leaned forward slightly, lowering his voice. Tu Na, he began, his tone carrying both hope and hesitation. I need to ask you something, not as a demand, not as pressure, just from one heart to another. She froze, her lips parting slightly. Alex continued, I've thought about this for a long time. You've been through so much, and I respect your strength more than I can say. But I also know what I feel. I want a future with you. I want to stand beside you, not just as someone who helps, but as someone who belongs in your life. The truth is, I want to marry you. The words hung in the air, heavier than the flickering candlelight. Tu Na's breath caught. Her fingers clutched the bouquet tighter, her knuckles pale. Her mind raced back to the first time Alex had asked her this and how she had refused. Back then, the fear of failing again, of dragging someone into her storm, had made her push him away. Now things were different. And yet, that same fear gnawed at her. Her eyes lowered as she whispered, Alex, I can't. Not yet. The silence that followed was deafening. Alex's chest tightened, though he forced a calm smile. I understand, he said quietly, though his heart cracked a little inside. Tu Na quickly lifted her gaze, her eyes filled with urgency. It's not because I don't care for you. You've done more for me than anyone ever has. You've protected Henry, given me safety when I thought I had none left. But, I don't feel worthy of you. I don't feel like I belong by your side as your wife. You deserve more than what I can give. Her words pierced him deeper than rejection could. He reached across the table, covering her hand with his. Don't say that. You're stronger than you realize. What you've been through doesn't make you less. It makes you more. And as for me, what I want isn't perfection. What I want is you. Her eyes glistened with tears. She squeezed his hand, torn between gratitude and fear. Alex, I just need time. Please, give me time. Though disappointment lingered in his heart, Alex nodded. He had expected this possibility, had prepared himself for it. At least she hadn't pushed him away completely. At least she hadn't said never. And when he looked at her, truly looked, he realized that her acceptance of the flowers, of his invitation, of his home, all spoke louder than her hesitation. She might not be ready to say yes to marriage, but she was already choosing him, step by step. He smiled gently. Take all the time you need. I'll be here, waiting. Tu Na's tears spilled over, but this time they weren't tears of sorrow. They were tears of relief, of knowing that she didn't have to walk this path alone. The rest of the evening passed in quiet tenderness. They spoke again of lighter things, of Henry's future, of the dreams they might build someday. When Alex drove her back home, the night sky stretched wide above them, filled with stars that seemed to shine brighter than before. At the doorstep, Tu Na paused, clutching the bouquet against her chest. She turned to Alex, her eyes softer than he had ever seen. "Thank you for not giving up on me." Alex felt his heart swell. He wanted to say more, to promise her the world, but instead he simply replied, "I never will." She smiled faintly, then stepped inside, leaving him standing beneath the starlit sky. That night, as Alex lay in bed, he replayed every word, every look. Yes, she had not accepted his proposal, but she had also not rejected him outright. She had accepted his flowers, his care, his home, and that to him was enough for now. In the quiet of his room, he whispered to himself, "She'll be ready one day. And when that day comes, I'll be there." And with that thought, he drifted into sleep, his heart both heavy and hopeful. For Tu Na, the night was restless. She placed the bouquet in a vase, its petals glowing faintly in the moonlight. Sitting beside Henry's crib, she watched her son sleep peacefully, untouched by the storms that had shaken her world. She touched the ring finger of her hand, bare but tingling with the memory of Alex's words. A future with him was possible, beautiful even, but for now she needed to heal, to rebuild her strength, to believe that she truly deserved such love. As she leaned back, her lips curved into a soft smile. She wasn't ready to say yes, but she was ready to hope. And for her, that was the first step. After the terrifying incident of Henry's kidnapping, Tu Na slowly began to rebuild her life, though her heart still carried the scars of fear. Alex, seeing her struggle, offered her and Henry a safe place in his home, where his mother welcomed them warmly, treating Tu Na like family and Henry like her own grandson. Surrounded by kindness and protection, Tu Na felt a fragile sense of peace returning. Yet Alex's heart carried a bigger hope: marriage. Unsure if she was ready, Tu Na struggled with feelings of unworthiness, afraid she couldn't give Alex the life he deserved. But during a quiet dinner, when Alex gently tested her feelings, she accepted his flowers with a smile, showing she was opening her heart, step by step. The proposal could wait. For now, hope and love had already found their place,